G'day, Matt here, and we're out here in a bush block. Country Victoria we're in. Just a lovely spot to come and cut a little bit of wood. And we've got ourselves the brand new Ego chainsaw, the electric job. Never been used yet apart from one little burst at home, but not cut a bit of wood in anger yet. So it'll be fascinating to see how it goes. Did a little bit of research on this online. Always been using petrol chainsaw and just got sicker. Stuff this. Let's see what other options there are, and came across the Ego electric chainsaw, the battery operated job. No doubt they work very well, and you can see that online with a number of other videos. But the big thing for me was, can you cut a load of firewood and fill a trailer? In fact, if I spin around here, there you go, we've got the trailer on the back of the ute there. Can we fill that trailer with firewood? But the issue is using batteries. That's your petrol. When you're out here in the bush, there ain't no power out here. Certainly no way to plug that sucker of a battery charger in. Generally in the bundle deal, they come with a 5 amp battery. I also got a blower that had a 5 amp battery in a kit, so I've got 2. And there's a current promotion on here in Australia. I'll get a third one sent to me, but don't have that here today. I have still got my petrol Husqvarna here, ready to use that if need be. It's going to be really interesting to see if 2 5 amp batteries, how far I'm going to get with that.
So the $64 question, will 2 5 amp batteries and an Ego electric chainsaw cut a load of firewood?
And this is the kind of timber we're cutting here. This is called a bull oak tree.
It's got this tough bark.
When that bark comes off, it's a beautiful smooth wood and it burns really well.
Scientific name of Allocacerina lameni. It's cited as being the hardest wood with a Janka hardness of 22,500. Others debate this, but it's a good challenge for the Ego. Let's get stuck into it and see how we go.
Okay, so I just made a bit of a start. Obviously a lot more tree to go, but I am worried about how far I'm going to get on the 2 batteries I've got. So I'm making fairly good progress, but the chainsaw itself cuts brilliantly. Really is just a question of your fuel, the batteries. So I'm down to about the last 2 bars of that 5 amp battery. I've noticed on YouTube, a lot of the videos, they seem to be cutting a lot of pine. Aussie hardwood, it's a fair challenge. It certainly gives that chainsaw a bit of a going over. So we've got all that big bit to go. This is where we've got to with the ute so far. So I'm working on the tactic. I'm still on my first 5 amp battery, but she's getting low on juice. So I'm being conservative, and I've actually loaded up some longer bits that I can cut with a second charge at home. Ideally though, you'd cut it out here in the bush. Because I've just got the 2 5 amps, we'll see how we go. I'm going to try and avoid having to use the Husky at all. But this is, look at this. I think this is going to finish off my 5 amp, because that's a big chunk of timber right there. We'll have a crack, we'll see how we go. Chainsaw, what's she down to? Let's have a look here. Got 1 bar. We're still going, we're fighting to the death. Still on our first 5 amp battery, and we've got that much in the trailer. So we're going all right, but really I had to do that sneaky method of cutting lengths, because it's going to need a bit of work at home, but at least I can charge up another 2 batteries at home and away you go. And now we've still got this big chunk to go here. I just did that big cut there, and I thought that would be the finish of it, but she's still going. The 5 amp is still going. She's out. She's finally given up. There she is, the red light. So there you go. That is how much you can do with a 5 amp battery. I've got that much wood, those bits, that bit, and this far on the first 5 amper. So there you go. All right, time to swap over. Isn't it a nice part of the ego of how easy it is to open the cover and get in there and clean it out? 2:32 p.m. and we got the next battery going in, so we're on to our second 5 amp job. Still a fair chunk of wood to go, and I reckon that's going to chew through pretty quick because they're massive bits there. That's the end of the main part of this bull oak. So it's about 1.5 ego batteries across. Okay. Okay, new battery, here we go. Gee, that one cut, it took it down 2 bars in one cut. That massive piece. Oh. Cutting through that one bit went through nearly, I think I upped the battery. She'll probably pick up. So what's it? Let's have a look here. Oh, there you go, back to full again. So it drops down and then it picks back up again. So it's not too bad. So what's this? Let us say 18 inch or something. So yeah, it's a fairly big bit of bull oak, and that's hardwood, this stuff too, I tell you. Keep doing some cutting now here for a bit. 1, 2. Look at that. Oh my goodness, it's a beautiful piece of timber. That is big hunks of timber up there. That's going to take some splitting, I think, on the splitter. Those bits were just getting a bit too big. It was getting ridiculous. I could barely get them on the back of the trailer, lifting them even cut down. So I'm now going to move on to this stuff here. It's just a lot smaller. Now I used a lot of battery on those big bits. So I think on this, I've just got to focus now on just cutting these into some usable lengths. Another one over here, I'll fill that up, and that's probably just about a day done. All right, I'm just about done. Trying to cut through this big final bit here, and that's where she chucked it in. Did a great job, got me a load of firewood, and she's ready to go home and have a rest, a well-earned rest. 3 batteries will get you a load of wood. With the caveat, I've been cutting them more to manageable lengths. I've got a load. Ideally, you just need another battery to then cut them into the actual shorter length. I reckon 3 5 amps just does the 6x4 trailer, because I got a fair bit of wood. Great thing is the convenience. Not sitting there tugging, trying to get it to start.
And not having to muck around with fuel mixers, just pull the trigger and it starts.
Just make sure you've got some chain oil in it, plug the battery in, and away you go. You spend more of your time focused on what you're cutting than anything else. And the only thing was really, with trying to cut those really big bits was the challenge. That's when you're really chewing through it. If you're going through massive bits of timber, that's where probably a regular petrol saw will do a better job. But really for firewood cutting, really goes through pretty well and very easily. So 2 5 amps, I've pretty much got a load. Third would just help me cut them into shorter bits before we get home. There were a couple of bits I did get with the Husky right at the end, but mainly this is all ego. It's been a beautiful day out here in the bush here. Pep has had an absolute ball out here today. Yeah, I'm certainly satisfied. She's done the job. I was a bit worried about battery life, as I said at the start, but it's come through with flying colours. It's cut me a lot of wood. Fantastic, well done Ego, and I reckon battery power, a lot to be said for it, and it's only going to get better, I guess. So here the next day, just cutting up this wood, and I tell you what, I reckon it's the most I've ever got. Partly probably because when you put lengths in, rather than individual bits, you end up fitting more on the trailer, I think. Got this pile here, a bit here in the wheelbarrow, another whole big pile here. Look here at the trailer, I've still got a stack that has done very well. Just finished cutting all the wood to lengths that can fit on the fire or be split. And some big bits in there that I had to cut through. That would have been 3 5 amp batteries, plus I was on my 4th to cut all that up to the lengths ready for the fire. When you're on the really big pieces, that's what really chews through it. Shorter bits, not too bad. So to sum it up, I love the instant start, the way you can just get stuck into it and get going. There's no mucking around with petrol, it's quiet and clean. I wouldn't have minded having 2 5 amps and a 7.5 amp as well.
Budget-wise, it probably makes the most sense if you're considering another Ego tool with bundled battery at the same time.
So I really enjoy having the two now, the petrol chainsaw and the electric for most of it, but just that bit of backup's good too.
So thanks for checking out the video. I really appreciate you taking the time to have a look. If you enjoyed the video, would value your support by having you press subscribe. And if you get a chance, check out a few of the other stories here, like Dad and his brother's mighty double-header tractor that they put together. All right, thank you. See you next time.